Hello there. When you first start using any DAW, and Cubase obviously in this case, it's overwhelming. You've got so much information that you don't know where to start. And one of the best places to get yourself to as quickly as possible is to build your own template, your own default template, so that every time you start writing a song, you're going to get some stuff for free. And this is my template. If we go to New Project, you can see in the Recording tab, Anthony's standard template. If I double click that, I'm going to get one of these things. And this is a load of information that I've decided I want in every song I write. So this is what we're going to get to over the series of a few videos. We'll get to the stage where we can build this default template. And today I just want to talk about bussing. Bussing is the concept of grouping a collection of tracks together and sending them into a single track. And you could then group another collection of those together and send them into another track. And you can build this hierarchy of stuff that gets collected together and forwarded on, and then more stuff that gets collected together and then sent on. And in this way we can organize our songs so that we can control whole sections of it in one go. So let's have a look at my bussing mechanism in the default template. So at the end of the chain we've got stereo out. If I open the mix console, you can see that here's the stereo out and it has no output. That's the end of the line. Stereo out is the thing that gets sent to the speakers or to the WAV file if you're burning or whatever. So what gets sent into stereo out is this thing, master bus. You can see that master bus gets sent to stereo out. And if we look across very quickly, the only other thing that gets sent to stereo out is a track that I don't want you to even look at the moment. Let's ignore Kales. To all intents and purposes, Masterbus is the only thing that's actually outputting any information. So what is Masterbus? Well, it's a group track. If we add, sorry, I did that a little bit quickly, this little plus button up here, click that, you're going to create a new track. And if we want to create a group track, usually group folders are going to be stereo, audio output stereo, folder setup, just leave that create outside folder, don't worry about it, I never do. And then name, what we can call it, whatever we want, call it Bob. Add. And now we have a new group track over here. It's down here at the bottom. And depending on what type of data it is, we'll give it a colour. So we have a palette. Again, we'll worry about this another time. Don't get confused for now. But let's call it an instrument track. So we're going to have a synth being output to this thing here. And then when we open our mixer console, here's our group track, and we now choose where that track is going to get sent. So we could send it to the master bus. And now this track is going to get sent to here, this track is going to get sent to here, and then eventually we'll hear it. And the reason for creating these group tracks is to collect information together that has a common theme. So if we have a load of female vocal harmonies spread out over 15 tracks, we can bus all of those tracks together into a female vocal harmony group track, and then we have one single slider via which we can control all of those other tracks, and it in turn can then get sent to the vocal master bus. So it's just a way of collecting stuff together. It's not a complicated subject at all, group tracks, but people do seem to get a little bit worried about them. So in my standard default template, I've got one master group track called the master bus that everything else feeds into. There's no other way to get to the output other than via the master bus. As far as my song itself is concerned, all the music, I break it down into 5 different components: bass, vocals, keyboards, guitars, and rhythm. Each one of those 5 different sound types has a colour. Bass is red, vocals is pink, guitars is yellow, keyboards are green, rhythm is blue. So every track I create of that type, I'm going to colour code using my palette up here. I'll do an entire video on configuring the palette, don't worry about that for now. Each one of those 5 sound types has a master bus. So there's the rhythm master bus, keys, guitar, vocal and bass. And those 5 sub buses each output to the master bus. So you can see here's the bass master bus outputting to master bus, vocal master bus there, guitar master bus there, keys master bus there, and rhythm master bus there. So all of those 5 streams are collecting together here, all controllable via this master slider, and in turn that is the thing that sends to stereo out. But hang on, Anthony, you might say, why on earth are you bothering with the master bus? It's not doing anything, it's one track all on its own. Well, if I'm writing a guitar line, if I'm writing a new guitar lead part, for instance, I might want that to sound louder than the rest of the song. I want to hear more clearly. It's like having a monitor with just my guitar like blasting in front of me so that I can hear it really clearly as I'm playing. So I'll send that track, that audio track that I've created, I'll send that directly to the stereo out and turn the rest of the song down. And so now my guitar part is much, much louder than the rest of the song and I can hear it really clearly. Once I've finished recording the part, I'll then redirect it. So if this is the track here, guitar 1, then I can send it to stereo out. And then once I've finished recording the part, I'll switch this to guitar master bus, and now it's just another one of those guitar parts that all collect together and get sent to the guitar master bus. But that's why I have stereo out handled separately, so I can turn the entire song down and just have a single track, basically like overriding the master bus and getting directly to the place where the audio is being sent out. So highly recommended. I find it super useful. It's not redundant. It gets used, trust me. So that's the level 1, the day 1 busing situation. We don't have groups with multiple complex nesting and an enormous template with loads of tracks, because I never know which direction my songs are going to go in. Is it going to be a guitar heavy one where I write almost no keyboard lines, or the other way around? But this default template gives me a really good starting place that I'm going to use almost all of these things almost all of the time. So I just wanted to keep this particular video specifically about the busing situation. So we'll call it a day there, and then in the next video we'll dive into a few more of these tracks as we get to the point where we're starting to build our standard template that we're going to use for all of the songs we write together. And thanks very much for watching. I'll see you later.